Hi, welcome back to Budget with Bianca. I'm Bianca, and today we will be budgeting for April. Sorry, it's been a while since I posted a video. If you didn't catch it, I did post on my community tab on YouTube that I will be posting Budget with Me's only once a month now because we are a full month ahead. It doesn't really make much sense for me to do 2 Budget with Me's per month. You definitely could. We receive income 4 times a month, but just right now, due to time constraints and other things that I'm working on, I will only be releasing 1 Budget with Me every month and then another video of some sort regarding budgeting or Ynab once every other month. So you'll see one more video from me in April that is already filmed and ready to go. Today, the first thing I actually wanted to do was to go through my spending report. And before all that, before you get budgeting, I just wanted to introduce the software that I'm using. So this is Ynab, or You Need a Budget. It is the software that I've been using for budgeting since August of 2024, and it has helped us get out of the credit card flow, pay off, different things like save for big expenses that we have, which you'll see in my spending breakdown for the month, and just feel way more financially stable and secure, and just give me peace of mind. So YNAB is very customizable, but one thing that you must do, at least that you should do, is to reconcile all of your accounts regularly. So I do that about twice a month, more if I feel like things are off, but typically twice a month or at least once a month is good for me. And I have gone ahead and reconciled all of my accounts. I've approved all of my transactions. It is the last day of the month that I'm filming this on, so we're about to hit that monthly rollover. And so I've made sure that all transactions that I think will be hitting my account today have already been accounted for. So everything should be as accurate as possible. So let's head into spending breakdown. And we spent a lot of money this month. This is more money that I think we've spent in a while. And we can compare it. But here you'll see the total spending breakdown, and so basically the highest expense that we had was in our general gift giving category, and I categorized this. So this transaction was 2 transactions. So without getting too much into it, we did pay for bills for some of my in-laws who are struggling financially, and so they asked us to loan them money, and so we did. And part of this will be given back to us. We decided that instead of just giving them the money, part of it, straight up without any expectation for it back, we will be asking for part of it back. That we've already agreed upon, a plan for that. So part of that money will come back to me, but I didn't want to account for that as overspending and cover. I just wanted to cover it. So that was $2,328.41. So this is pretty abnormal for us. We don't, loan out money to family, very often. But when the situation calls for it, we are willing to do that. I will actually link a video by Nick True on the subject. Actually, I have not personally watched it because I just didn't have the time for it this month, but I will be watching it soon. But I know that it is a fairly popular video, so I'll link it down below. Then our next biggest expense was our mortgage. This actually will be going up in, I believe, May. They did an escrow analysis, and the price will be going up. I am going to try to get our mortgage out of escrow. I just received a letter today that the process that I applied for did not go through, but there's something else that I need to do. So maybe we'll see a change there, but for now, yeah. Then we spent $916 on groceries, which is much more than I actually had budgeted for. So we will be adjusting that here shortly. Then we had my husband's student loans. Then the next biggest expense was our Fresh Fork. This is a box of food that we get every week during the summer months. So from May 1st, the first week of May to the first week of November. So we pay upfront for it for the entire summer. So this is what I mean, that Ynab helped us save for this, and it was like no thoughts. Like I just sent the check out and I knew that that money was already accounted for and it was no sweat. So that just felt really good. And then one of our other big expenses was clothing. My husband and I both went shopping for a lot of things that we needed. So we spent $715 on that. I did actually do a little bit of return, so it was a little bit higher at first, but that money has been credited back to the category. Then our car insurance and our life insurance policies were $463.59. Gas, we spent $379.14. This is way higher than what it previously has been, probably because, well, first, both my husband and I work outside of the home, so we both drive to work Monday through Friday. And then typically I drop my daughter off at daycare or who's ever watching her because it's closer to my work. However, a couple times I had to stay late or I had appointments after work, and so I could not pick her up. So then my husband, who lives, it was kind of like the opposite way for him. He had to go get my daughter or our daughter. And so we were just doing a little bit more driving. And then we will be doing probably even more driving in April. So we need to think about that. Then we did pay for a babysitter to watch our daughter for 2 days this month. Otherwise, my mom has been watching her, which is so nice because we haven't spent money on daycare, which is great. The only thing is I'm still waiting for our FSA to reimburse us for this because it is an FSA qualified purchase or transaction. But they have given me so much grief about it. I'm not very happy. So I'm waiting for this $360 to come back. That will come back obviously in April. So I will just put it in a category later. And then, because I just covered this babysitting cost. And then I did spend money on the bachelorette party that I'm planning. I booked one of our tours that we're going on. And then everything else was $2,304.61. And if we scroll to the right here, you can see where those other things are. So it's our auto loan, dining out. We spent $172.12, so not bad there. We bought my dog's food, our electricity bill. I did get a new phone, so I just paid for like the upgrade price. This was our phone and bill. TV, my husband's spending money. We paid our HOA, which we already had money for, our internet. We did get my daughter a passport. Baby supplies, so like diapers and wipes, my fun money, medical, this is being reimbursed. Part of it has already been reimbursed to me, but I'm waiting on the last half from our FSA. Then our long-term care insurance, my dog's insurance, loans, date night, personal care, just other things, lots of random things that we spend money on. So we spent a lot of money. Okay, so that is what we spent in March. Let's go into the budget and let's get budgeting. Okay, I'm going to do the Ynab 5 questions. So here they are. So these are the 5 questions to ask when you need to give every $1 a job. So that is what we're going to go through. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do before I do all that is do my monthly sweep. And I know Just Finance does that. I'll link their channel below. So here it goes. So we're going to take every leftover remaining dollar that we don't need and bring it up to this next month category. So if you click on here, we're going to move and we're going to say not next car, but next month. So I don't need any money in groceries because I'm not going grocery shopping today. This babysitter money needs to stay here. These are sinking funds. My fun money I'm going to keep. Travel we're all going to keep. That might honestly be the only. Well, here, we'll move this $2.17 over to next month. And these are all sinking funds. So I don't think I can move anything else, but let me, nope. Okay. Well, that is a-okay. All right, so that's the savings, the end of the month sweep, sorry. And from here, we can look at the 5 questions and get budgeting. So the first question is the reality question. What does this money need to do before I get paid again? Because we are a month ahead, this is a little bit easier. So it basically needs to fund all of April. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to go forward into April and I am going to adjust our gas and our grocery targets. So adjusting targets is very simple. We just click on the category. And for gas, I have refill up to 275. So in case there is money left over, it would want me to fill back up to 275. That is not the case. We have overspent. And if we scroll down, you can see this auto assign. So the average spent over the historical average of your Ynab was 278, but last month I spent 379. So I think I'm going to kind of split the difference and go 300. That sounds good to me. So 300. And for groceries, I'm going to $750. Let's change it to 800. I'm going to try. I think a lot of the groceries that in the grocery budget last month was like Costco purchases and restocks, which I don't really need to do this month as much. So we might be okay. Okay, so I've done that. And if you see me looking up, I have my phone above me on a tripod with notes so that I know what I'm doing, because I tend to be a little scattered if I don't have notes in front of me. Okay, so we did that. All right, the first thing we're going to do to actually budget money is go back to today, which is March. We're going to move all of this money. So this $9,852.91 is both my husband and I's 2 paychecks for the month of March, minus a little bit because of all the spending we did during the month. So I kind of cover things as I go, which, you know, for filming purposes, not that great because you don't see everything. But I do that because I need to keep up with my budget in real life. So it is what it is. And we're going to move this up to ready to, nope, not poison ivy treatment, to ready to assign. You could also go ahead and zero this assigned out and it would go right back into ready to assign up here. So lots of ways to do things in Ynab, which I love. For anyone who works in healthcare, if you use Epic, you know that there are a million ways to do one thing in Epic, and Ynab is the same way, which I love. So here we go. All right, we need to add a little bit of money into March. So we need to add $90 more in here for the last payment of March for our babysitter. And then that should be good for March. So let's go into April. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink of water. Okay. The way I like to budget, even though I don't need to, you'll see here that my underfunded is $11,000 for all of April. So every single category in April, I would need $11,000. I don't have $11,000 clearly. So we are going to fund the things that we need to fund, and that's kind of on purpose. So we are going to go to our needs focused view. And these are the things that, you know, I would need to survive for the month. You know, a roof over my head, you know, water coming from out of our faucets, the electricity turned on, things like that, and things for my job that I would need. So for frequent expenses, we're going to just click this category group, and it's going to be $2,225 to fully fund everything. So we're going to take care of that. Now, this category, I tried to adjust the target. Maybe someone can help me understand, but I only need $295 by the end of April, and I cannot for the life of me understand how to get that. So I'm only going to add $20, and I can't snooze it yet because it's not April, but I will snooze this tomorrow on April 1st, because I don't need $295 more, for April of 2026. I still need to pay April of 2025's membership dues. So I don't really understand why it's doing that. But I am going to click on this category, deselect the ACCP membership, and everything else here needs to get underfunded. All right, so that's our car tag renewal, my daughter's life insurance or driver's licenses, liability insurance for me, oil change, personal care, our Sweet Kiddos membership, which is the daycare my daughter goes to, and our Ynab. And then we have our bills. So all of our bills is $3,186.81. That includes mortgage, my dog's food, gas, heating, electricity, utilities, things like that. So that is fully funded. And then our loans are $1,081.58. That's my student loan, my husband's one student loan that is not in administrative forbearance, and then my car loan. And that is all of our needs that we need to fund. Remember that this one, we don't need to fund more than $295. All right, next we're going to go into wants. And these are, like the name says, things that we would like to have during the month. So again, you can see that the total underfunded would be $1,270.64. So if I just click this underfunded button, again, you can do things multiple ways. So it's telling me 27 categories will be fully funded. I've actually never done this before, really actually click the button, but it does the same thing. So we can try. So it's telling me these are the categories that will be fully funded. So let's do that. Okay, great. So you can see now everything is green. Let me just double check with my notes that we don't need to do anything here. No, we should be good. The only thing is I'm going to add, I think it was $20. Yeah, $20 more to clothing to get that up to $50. I do need to buy just a couple more things for myself, but it shouldn't be very much. So I think $50 should be good. And with that, that takes care of our wants. Now our extras. This time we can go through manually and do it. So a couple of different ways you can work with Ynab. So for baby activities and toys, it wants 15, date night 75, family photos 22.50. These we will not touch because I have a different method for filling those. Baby showers gets 20, which is good because we have a baby shower at work coming up. Hanukkah gets $5.56 and Holiday Shenanigans gets $5.95. Okay, so that fully funds our, underfunded to zero. That fully funds our extras. So we still have $1,721 remaining. Okay, we're going to go back to March and we're going to cover the overspending. So when you have overspending, you get this lovely yellow alert here. So this is our gas. This is all credit card spending because it's yellow and it has a little credit card symbol. So we're going to cover this with ready to assign. So I'm just going to click on it and we're going to do it from ready to assign. Dining out, same thing. The medical I'm going to leave. As you could tell from the spending overview we did, I had my eyes checked and it was $90. Like I had my eye appointment and a glasses contacts prescription. So part of that, the $35 has been credited back, like reimbursed for me. And then I'm still waiting for the 55. So we're going to leave this alone. So that takes care of our overspending. Then, I keep forgetting to go back to the questions. Okay, so going back to our questions, that was kind of the reality. So what did our money need to do before I get paid? Then we're going to go, I'm going to skip around a little bit. So I also took care of the flexibility. So what changes did I need to make, if any? Well, I covered our overspending. So those two kind of go hand in hand. Now the resilience question, what can I set aside for next month's spending? Because we are a full month ahead, everything goes towards next month. So that question for us doesn't apply as much. But if you are aiming to get a month ahead still, this question is a great one. Now we're going to move into the stability question. So what larger, less frequent spending do I need to prepare for? And a lot of that has to do with our, in our stability group, I have this true expense buildup fund, and right below it, you'll see our 6 large true expense goals. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, I've gone over this a couple times. I'll link them below. But we are aiming to build up some of these large sinking funds before we head into an aggressive repayment of our student loans, because that just makes me feel more comfortable. And so we're going to do that. But before we do that, I need to adjust one category. Kind of along the same lines. So we did put my daughter in swim lessons. And when I'm done filming this video, I will move this category into quality of life. But we did purchase the next month's classes. So that is $130. So, oh wait, why did it do that? Oh, that's because I need to add 130. So if there's already money in here, then it will add it up. So yeah, and so that will take care of what large true expenses we need. And actually what I probably should do is change this target, and we will purchase for May as well. And I think May has 5 Saturdays in it because that's when we do our swim lessons. So I will need, let's see, they're $30. And best thing is Ynab does math. So they're $30 and there's 5 of them. Oh, so we will need a balance of 150. But I also need to add the 130. And I need to set a due date that I want this by May. So, okay, so it wants $9. Okay, I will not add that now. I will add that into May's category, like in April. I don't think I need that now, so we're going to snooze this. So it's green, and that takes care of that. Now we need to assign things for April's travel. So going back into April, these are still, large expenses we're saving for. I'm going to get back to the bachelorette party. I'm going to add $147.85. That's what it's telling me it wants. I'm going to add $85 here and $214.29 here. We're going to actually hide the ski weekend. We are out of ski season, so we don't need any of that. And let's go back to March because, okay. So it actually wants me to put into the bash $32.29, but I am waiting for one more person to pay me $53 for the tour that I bought. So I need to subtract $32.29. No, I need to subtract $53. So, because that's what I'm expecting. So 122.43 minus 53. So that's what I need to add. And then I will get $53 in April. And that should be good. Okay, so that's good there. Let me see. Okay, I think we are good. This was less money than I wanted left, but that's okay. So because this money was actually earned in March, what I'm going to do for a true expense buildup fund was put it here, but actually what I'm going to do is just fully assign it into home maintenance. So we're just going to add a 967.24, and that gets us up to 1,599. And we only need $900 left to build it up to my first goal of $2,500. And that is the budget with me. If you have any questions on Ynab or anything that I went over, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the middle of April for another video, and then at the end of April for our May budget with me. I hope you all have a great month, and we'll talk soon. Bye.